Let's talk about Michael Porter Jr. real quick. So, for those of you that don't know, forward for the Denver Nuggets, won the championship last year. Very talented player. He's dealt with a lot of injuries, but he's still able to contribute to winning. So shout out to him. He was on the Pivot podcast. I want to say 4 days ago. Just got done watching the episode, and the reason I actually went and checked out his interview is because he got caught with some controversy because he had an interesting take about the difference and the lack of equality between NBA players and WNBA players' pay. So let's take a listen to what Michael Porter Jr. had to say about that, and then we can come back and react to it. But before I play the clip, please like the video and subscribe to the channel.
Very talented, but so is a famous ping pong player. They're just as talented as a like the best ping pong player is just as talented as the best basketball player. That doesn't mean they're going to get paid the same because
they play ping pong.
It's what the people want to watch. You know what I mean? So, as much as I understand females wanting the same treatment as men basketball players, it's a different sport. People, they're not packing out the arenas. Obviously, their TV deals aren't the same. So, as much as I advocate for women and kind of the equality of the respect of their craft and all those things, I mean, you can't pay them the same thing, but I do feel like there should be a little way to make a little bit more money for them because they are very talented.
Yeah, I think the big thing, obviously, when you're thinking about negotiations, labor unions, and different things like that, I don't believe there's any woman that believes she should be paid as a man gets paid. It's more about the revenue share. It's more about the percentage. And I think those things play into it. And then the other side of it is treatment, within their own organizations. Like, they're never, like, they don't.
But it's not as exciting.
No, it's not as exciting.
It's not as exciting basketball.
Yeah, you're not.
They got to lower the rims. I would watch a girl coming down the lane on another. I would watch that. They need to lower the rims.
They're actually.
So there you have it. Listening to this clip, I really don't see why anyone would be upset or mad at MPJ for what he had to say. I really don't see it, generally. First off, he acknowledged the players' talent on the WNBA side. He affirmed his support for them to receive equal pay if possible, but he just pointed out a fact, which is these NBA players, the reason why they're making so much money is not just because they're more talented than any other superstar athlete that made it to the highest level in their category or their genre, but it's just because so many people are willing to watch them, to buy the jerseys, to buy merch, to talk about them on the internet, promote the product and everything. And that same interest is just not there for the WNBA players. It's just not. And there's nobody to blame for it. Like, anything that's entertainment related is a big ad. It's all about advertising. We all have the same 24 hours. So these companies, they'll be like, okay, who is capable of guaranteeing that a big number of people will be watching my ad at the same time so I can pay a lot of money? And this is how people eat. And for the WNBA players, that interest is just not there. Maybe there's a little bit of sexism involved in the fact that, as men, you'll be like, why would I watch women's sports if I can watch men's sport? Maybe. But on the other hand, if it's women's sport, then if you're going to blame someone, blame the woman for not supporting the product the way men support their product, I mean, that's just my opinion. I guess some people took some offense to the analogy because he compared their talents to ping pong players. But again, you have to really listen to what he said. He said nothing disrespectful. He did not put ping pong players or WNBA players' talent lower on the scale of talent. He said all of them are equally talented. It's just about entertainment. And yeah, the entertainment, I do not choose to, as a consumer, I have the power to choose what is entertaining. But if I were a player, I'm not the one that tells the consumer that anything is more entertaining than the other. You make that choice and then I reap the benefits. It's all about choices. Here's what the WNBA needs to do, in my opinion, because I feel like this is a league issue. This is not on the players. Obviously, I'm not a regular watcher of the WNBA, but even with a gun to my head, I could not name you 3 stars. If my life depended on it, I could not. When you think about the NBA, what they do and what is so great about the NBA is that they have this ability of marketing stars, selling stories. that even if you don't care about the player, you don't know him, the media push, the marketing push will be so heavy that you will look into a player. And even for the players that you don't like, you will have facts about them and everything. This is the power of marketing. And now we kind of feel involved into storylines and narratives. And this is why we push the product even further than the game. And a lot of times we'd rather discuss, the narratives that surround the game rather than discussing what's actually happening on the court. That's the power of marketing. And the NBA has mastered that. On the WNBA side, I feel like they need to do a better job at doing so. Because for the NBA, for example, I'm a fan, so obviously I know players, you guys know players, but if I go to my job tomorrow and I sit down and I talk about certain players, they will still know about them, although they don't watch basketball. This is because the NBA has done a great job at marketing the product. On the WNBA side, they just don't do that. So how do they actually force, quote unquote, the product on other people? I mean, it's multiple ways to go about it. First off, they need to do more partnerships with the NBA. That shooting contest, that 3-point contest that's going to happen between Stephen Curry and, no disrespect, I forgot the name of the lady who's going to shoot against Stephen Curry, but that's amazing for the league. They need more of that. The fact that Candace Parker, for example, is features on Inside the NBA from time to time, that's great because she has a great personality. She gets to showcase her knowledge about the game, and sometimes they'll spotlight her accomplishments and all that. The WNBA needs to make sure that the women players, the stars, are at the forefront with the NBA guys as much as possible. So at least we know about these people. And sometimes you'll be like, all right, let me go check what she's talking about. She's talking about the game. It looks like she's knowledgeable. Let me see what she was like on the court. For Candace Parker, for example, I did do that. Like, I really like her as an analyst. I think she's great. I think she has nice personality and everything. So at least I checked out the highlights just to see, all right, and she's the real deal, And now for the lack of entertainment, I mean, it's kind of complicated. I feel like from a skill set perspective, they're not really lacking from what I've seen. But yeah, it's you're not gonna see like a big block that's gonna send shot in the rafters or something, or you're not gonna see someone dunking over somebody else in the WNBA. That's kind of missing, unfortunately. So I feel like their best bet is to bet on outside shooting. And even in the league, like a lot of people marvel at Stephen Curry's ability to shoot from deep. So I feel like on the WNBA side, they can bank on that. And we have a lot of talented women shooters out there. Even if you play basketball on your free time and you play against the women that play basketball too, they have a burner. They can shoot that thing. So they might as well do that. Even on at the collegial level, there's a star. This young, I think it's a white woman. I don't know her name, but I've seen a bunch of her highlights because she's shooting like crazy, and she got some hype. And her games, people watch those games, So I feel like this is a recipe for success for the WNBA that they need to follow. But anyways, these are my thoughts. I don't see why people got on MPJ's back for that one, man. Like, yeah, there was nothing wrong that he said. I feel like the WNBA just needs to be better overall at marketing the product. Anyways, these are my thoughts. If you made it this far, I appreciate you. Please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel. And more importantly, get in that comment section. Drop some video ideas if you have any topic that you would like covered. And let's talk about it. What should the WNBA do to, I guess, bridge the gap when it comes to a difference of payment between players on the NBA side and women's side? It's been your boy, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.